guess I'll call this a feed log, but it's really about my current situation. I have to go back to Walmart. When you have a certain blood type, you give blood, they give you a lot of money for it. Hold on a second. They give you a lot of money for your blood. So when I went and gave blood, I had enough money that I was able to treat myself, and I got an Elgato capture card. And basically the Elgato capture card, it's called a 4KS, is enough that it should have run my Switch 2 with no problem at all. But it revealed that the real issue is my laptop isn't good enough. The old computer that I used to stream on way back in the day, I think even had more memory than my laptop has now. But what's unfortunate is I was basically doing some digging, and it looks like a laptop that can handle the Elgato that I have, but also, like, even if I scaled down and got like the HD60X, the laptop's going to cost me at least $1,500. And $1,500 when you're trying to help pay off a mortgage is not a priority. But I'm just really disappointed because I learned some things about, the Ryzen 5 chip and AMD processors and graphics cards. And what's really sad is I remember this from the gaming era when I dipped into PC gaming, like way back. Like that was around the Nintendo 64 era. And I was just like, they really do get you coming and going when it comes to technology, because now if you own a Nintendo Switch 2, you know that Nintendo, like the games they talk about, like the chips that they need, and like people are complaining because the game card is just a key really, and you need the key in your system, but you basically just download the game. I mean, I most of my games are digital, so I really don't I don't have a lot of physical discs anymore, and they're not even discs anymore, they're chips, but I don't know, are they still discs for PS5? Anyway, they basically tell you, that it's the material that's so expensive, but this was a real bummer to me because I got it on there, plugged it in, and was just so excited. I was just like, man, I can't believe I'm finally going to step into, a more modern generation. I've been doing this as long as I have, and I actually had a similar experience in the past, but it was just such a letdown to me. It was such a letdown that I was just like, I can't believe that it's still like this. It's still keeping me from being able to do what I wanted to do. And it's just so sad because I just don't get it. I mean, I just don't. I just don't understand why the hiccups of technology just make it so much more complicated. So basically, what the issue is my Ryzen card isn't good enough. It doesn't have dedicated memory, like dedicated physical memory, or I don't know how to explain it because I really am not that technical. And then, basically I need a minimum of 16 gigabytes, whereas my laptop only has 4. I bought my laptop for a pretty reasonable price, but now I see why was so reasonably priced, because even though it's a Ryzen chip, it's a very scaled down cheap chip. If you want a gaming PC, especially if you want a laptop, but if you want a gaming PC, you're going to drop at least $1,300 to $1,500. And that was a shocker to me, because I'm like, all right, everybody complains about consoles costing what consoles cost, but I don't have $15 to drop on a computer that, like, the only thing I would be using it for would be to stream my console. Like, my console is why I want this computer, but the Elgato has to work with the computer, so the computer's video card has to have dedicated memory that can also run like the streaming software. I'll just say it's OBS because you don't pay for it, but so OBS and like all the other background apps but it just showed itself to me that it was like, yeah, it can't handle this, so it just made a black screen. And even if I had gotten it to work, basically what would have happened was it would have been dropping frames and it would have been doing all of this stuff. Like, in order for it to broadcast it at 60 frames per second, like even if I'd scaled it down to like 1080, it would have lagged. And they make these cheaper capture cards that won't put so much strain on my GPU, but it won't look like Zelda at all. Like, it'll look all washed out and blurry. And it just seemed to me like, as I finally just boxed it up and I was like, well, it looks like I got to cut my losses and just take it back, and now I don't know what's going to happen because I couldn't get it out of the box, kind of ripped the box a little bit more than I wanted to. And I mean, it's really unfortunate. Anyway, that's why I'm saying this is a vlog, that I'm just sort of, I guess, complaining about it being not what I expected at all. I didn't get even for 5 minutes to put Dragon Quest 2 HD up on my computer and record it. Like, I couldn't even record. It was like the second that I plugged it in, I got so excited, and the second that I plugged it in, it was just not going to happen, and then I started to do some digging, and when I saw, I was like, my computer can't handle it. Like, basically it was, the options are, all right, here's what you can do. You can try to return this and get like an inexpensive one, and it's going to look really washed out, or you could take this thing back, and when you take it back, like, you might run into some issues, but I think that's what I have to do. I have to take it back because it's not going to work. Anyway, it's Divine Mercy Sunday. I've done a lot already today, and I'm going to visit my priest friend. Hopefully we'll visit like my other sick priest friend, but I'm not sure what's going to happen for the rest of my evening. But I just hope that you got the opportunity to experience God's grace. Since it's 2026, and there's a lot of people out there that are trying to tell you how bad things are, God's mercy and his infinite patience should remind you of how good things are and how the kingdom of heaven is here and now. And if you do ever decide to live stream video games, just remember, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And you might just be dealing with people that like tell you things like, you suck,